Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toplofty Lounge, episode 111 Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs. I am your host, Science Fiction Snob. This week on the program, we're going to be talking about sexy sci fi TV shows from back in the day that could not be made today, would not be made today, or whatever. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host, the man who put the Y in sexy. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, fans of sci-fi. I just want to say that I object to this whole topic, and I find it to be misogynistic and sexist.
Woohoo! All right, let's get on with the misogyny and the sexism. Yeah, baby. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, baby. All right. So Cam, anything going on in your life you want to this last week you need to mention?
It was kind of a slow week. I'm trying to remember what I did that was noteworthy. It doesn't mean I wasn't doing things. It just means nothing notable. But I will mention very briefly that we just had a show. We had our Babylon 5 wrap-up show last Wednesday for the end of the Shadow War. Check that out on this channel. You can find it, of course. And then we just had an interview on the Bad News Barge channel. Just a little over 2 hours ago, we started that, and it was about an hour long. A great interview with a big shot in the world of role-playing games, Professor Dungeon Master of the Dungeon Craft channel. But you can check that out on the Bad News Bards.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I was hoping for something a little more interesting than a promo, but there we go. Okay. Well, what about? Okay. Well, here in the dugout, we still no action on the the flooding issue. I had someone come in this week and check the furnaces to make sure they weren't messed up. They're not messed up. They're good to go. But
that's good.
God knows how long it's going to be before they even come to address the problem here. We're just like in some sort of limbo. So I don't know. What do you expect? Insurance companies, am I right?
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. It could be months, man. I'm like, I could be living like with stuff packed up in boxes and for months. Oh well. Now, what about sci-fi wise, Cam? Surely you did something there that was interesting, and you increased your sci-fi snobbery. Surely.
No, I don't think I did. I've been, I've been delving a lot into fantasy role-playing stuff lately. So my sci-fi end of things has been a little lacking, and except for Babylon 5, of course, which we do every week, and the extensive discussions on that. I mean, why does it not count? How do you just negate? Okay,
I put the gate up wherever I want. I move the goalposts, whatever I want to do.
Well, I've had enough of that this week.
All right. So okay, for me though, I did a couple things. I finally finished Use of Weapons by Ian M. Banks. I've been holding that book on forever. Finishing it off. I finally finished it off this week, so that's good. I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit of a review on Banks' first three books. I read them, so yeah, I might do that. But as well, last night I watched the Book of Eli. Do you?
I remember. I've seen it before.
Denzel Washington, yeah, not bad.
It's been a while.
Sci-fi dystopian sort of, future. The world has been
with a twist.
Sons. Yeah, we don't really know exactly what happened. It'll tell, but not a bad movie. What do you think about that movie?
Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I recall enjoying it.
Yeah, it was not bad. What do you think about the religious aspects of it?
I thought it was cool.
Okay. So here's the thing. That they're not really pushed, right? But he does talk about how he's on a path and he's got, a voice that speaks to him to follow the path. Now you could say he's just crazy. And there's no other aspect of that. He just talked about it. But there are a number of incidents where people shoot at him, and it sort of I'm not saying it bounces off, but it just misses.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like it's almost like he is, and some of the things that he does, like he's not any type of ex-military or some sort of and he seems to survive these encounters with various um you know nefarious types fairly easily.
Mhm.
He kills he kills like 20 guys in this bar. He chops them up pretty good. Now, I mean,
Providence seems to be on his side.
yeah, it could be that it could be he's a good fighter, but it does seem to have a little bit of that aspect, to being, chosen by God, or at least, watched over. Um,
Yeah.
did you notice that or think about it before? Or no,
Uh,
not really.
I mean, it would not. No, I can't say that I thought of it in those terms, but now that you mention it, yes, it certainly was. But again, in a lot of heroic kind of things, where you got the big hero, he does extraordinary things. So, but it might be more specific than I'm remembering, as you are mentioning.
All right. Okay. Well, I just watched it last night. Outpost Nerd says you don't find out what he's until the end what book he's carrying. Well, yes and no. I mean, but halfway through the movie, or a third of the way through, where he gets to the town, the girl says, she sees the book. What's her name from Mila Kunis is the actress. She sees the book, and then she goes and tells the bad guy, and he goes, what was the book? And she makes the sign of the cross, right? She puts two fingers over top of each other. And as soon as I saw that, I go, well, it's the Bible. Which is what I thought from the beginning, to be honest, anyway. But excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I kind of figured it was some sort of religious text like that. It was probably the Bible. But and he kind of quotes, he makes quotes that sound Bible-like during some of his couple of his fights, right before his fights. But he doesn't say this is from the Bible. He just says a quote. Yeah, the book is Braille, and Gary Oldman can't read it. Yes, spoiler alert. It's the Bible in Braille. Yeah. So yeah, so that aspect, this religious aspect of his, that's very de-emphasized. At no point does he, say that he's protected by God or whatever, other than make, I got to carry on this. And he does get shot, but he doesn't die. But it does seem that there's a couple of things that happen, and you're just like, he's pretty lucky.
I think I should note. It seems Outpost Nerd is incredulous about your take.
I just saw the movie last night. What do you mean?
I'm just saying,
hindsight is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is a hell of a drug. But what does that have to do with anything? Is that a new drug I don't know about? Is that like fentanyl? Hindsight? Yeah. Yeah, I watched the movie, and I'm watching. I'm going, it just seems.
Well, there are some. Certainly, it is.
He gets shot in the shoulder, and it kind of bounces off him when he's in the town. He turns his back and he walks away, and the right hand man to the henchman shoots him. And he's pretty close, and the guy shooting him is kind of like, how come I'm missing? Like he's kind of like, what the hell? Like he aims at and shoots him, and he's like, what the hell? He got this look on his face. How the hell did I miss?
Okay, what I was going to comment on is it isn't unknown in storytelling that you see these things and then you get some sort of reveal or information at the end that makes you go, oh, okay, I get it. Now I don't know if that's the case. Again, it's been a while since I've seen it, so it's not at all fresh in my memory of these instances you're saying, but that wouldn't be unheard of.
Yeah, but there isn't a reveal at the end saying that, oh, God protected me. I mean, he kind of speaks that, he kind of implies that, but it's just there's nothing special to it. It's just like any Christian would say.
Okay, but wait a minute.
Any Christian would say, oh, God guides me in my life, right? Like he doesn't say it like, no, he's guiding me and he tells me to take a step here, and
because he's humble.
Yeah, but yeah,
but
of course.
Okay. Maybe I'm forgetting. There's another kind of important reveal in the story, right? About him.
What about him?
That he's blind.
Yeah, at the end, he's blind, right?
Okay, so that makes everything even more.
Yeah, because I'm watching the movie and I'm going, I've I saw stuff about it. I go, is this character supposed to be blind? And then at the very beginning, he like bumps into a table and stuff like that. Like he goes into a house, and he bumps a table. Like, oh, is he really blind? And then he's looking around like he's not blind, and he seems to see people and know where to put things and stuff. And I'm like, is he not? And then at the end, they kind of go to his eyes and they're trying to let you know that he's blind. And I'm like, he sure didn't act that way. Like he chopped people up, no problem. Blocked their, their stuff. So I was like, isn't this guy supposed to be blind? He's not acting like he's blind. Anyway, do you really think he's blind? I kind of at the end, I'm like, come on, he's not blind. Give me a break. I thought that was a little. He didn't seem blind at all. But I guess that's where it's supposed to be. I thought maybe he was blind, like he could only, like his eyesight was not great. You know what I mean? Like he could see shapes and blurs or something like that.
Could be.
He wasn't completely blind.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be a huge difference, right? Between literally you see nothing at all and you just have very poor vision. I'd take the very poor vision every time, right?
Yeah. I assumed he's just legally blind because there were some aspects where he's like he's not fumbling for anything. He seems to but if that's true that he's completely blind, then I mean,
what I'm saying is that that depending on how you take that might be leading more into the issue of is he guided by God?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. The show isn't about Book of Eli.
That show. Yeah. But anyway, what else? Oh, I started watching the Halo TV series. I saw the first season before, and I thought, maybe I'll give it a try and see season 1 and then season 2 again. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I thought I'd give it a try. I saw that if I just watched the first episode, it's okay. The production values are really good. There's a whole bunch of nods to the video game in there, which are kind of overt. That are just like, yeah, give me a break. They're so overt. When the characters are jumping, they look a little weird. Maybe they do that on purpose, but they don't look natural compared to the other stuff. But the monsters, the bad guys, the Covenant look pretty good. I remember watching it the first season, thinking, this is not the story I would have done. And they unmask Master Chief in the first episode. Takes his mask off, and I was really, I'm looking at it with a second view. Maybe it's not so bad. They do have, I think the casting of Catherine Halsey is good. They've got Captain Keyes and Amanda Keyes in there. They're doing different things, but they seem to be pretty good casting. I think it's set before the major events of Halo, but I don't know. Maybe I'll keep going.
Well, I never watched the recent TV show, but I remember there was I guess it was just a movie that was like kind of about the training academy or whatever.
Yeah, Forward Unto Dawn.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. They
released it as a 4-part mini series type of thing, as a bit of a promo to the game Reach. I think it was Reach. Okay. It's about a 2-hour movie, and it is cut into 4 pieces, and they released it over a month, once a week or something like that. Great movie. You can see it on like Tubi and that sort of, in places like that.
I've actually got that on DVD, I think.
Oh, do you? It's great. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. Really well done. And only the Master Chief only shows up at the very end with a couple of Spartans. Excellently done. High production value as well. They seem to use the same type of production value for the TV show. It's just, I'm just sort of questioning the sort of where the story went and some of the choices they made.
Yeah, I didn't follow it all, but I remember hearing about it that a lot of people were
I mean, you could have just made the Master Chief going around beating the crap out of people and winning like the video game, and you would have had a huge audience, off by himself and stuff. Yeah, I've seen Halo Legends. Yeah, I've seen Halo Legends. I didn't. They made Spartans to be mindless drones. I didn't feel that way, though. They're kind of programmed. It's a little bit later on in the show, or sorry, in the timeline. So they're still, they've been doing this for a while, years, because they start out when they're 16 or so, and Master Chief is supposed to be about 40 by the time of the video games. The Covenant stuff comes sort of near the end. So he's been around a while. He's, probably in his mid 30s. Been doing it for 15 years type of thing. They are implying that, they're kind of setting it up. They kind of set it up. He touches obviously a Forerunner artifact in the first episode, and that sort of changes him, and that sort of maybe breaks his programming a little bit. They're suggesting that it breaks his programming, plus maybe also makes him special, so that's why he's so special later on in the games and stuff, and why he can survive all these incredible odds and keep going. It seems to be what they're suggesting in the first episode. So maybe I'll follow it. But
hey,
the Spartans were taken as kids, not teenagers. Yes, I know that. I know they were taken at about 6 years old, and however, they were in training until they were about 16, and they were programmed. And at about 16, then they were became Spartans per se and were used on mission.
Okay, this is the question, because in Forward Unto Dawn or whatever you said it was, that's when they did show them as being like teens, right?
Yeah.
Now,
and it's kind of implied that that's their first mission, so to speak, because that's when they start. That's when they're starting to, to be used by the UNSC.
Okay.
But 10 years after being kidnapped. I mean, I can give you, quick storyline. They're basically chosen at about age 6. They're kidnapped.
So it's like Space King?
Yeah, sort of. They're kidnapped, and then Catherine Halsey, she's the one there. I mean, this is how diabolical she is. She kidnaps them. She clones them. They have cloning techniques, but the clones don't work very well. They basically, live about 4 years, and and they start to fall apart. Like their whole body, tons of cancer, that kind of stuff. Hold on, sorry. Cancerous cells and that sort of thing. So she basically kidnaps them. She gets these kids, scrapes a bit of DNA off them, clones them, comes back, switches them out with the new one, and the new kid goes home, and then the parents, it dies in a couple years, and so all these parents are like, oh my, they're grieving and stuff. My kid died of cancer from somewhere, we don't know what happened. Meanwhile, she's got them kidnapped and she's programming them to be the next super soldier. I mean, it's pretty diabolical. Yeah. No, John is not chosen because he's super lucky. That's part of it, but he never quits. He does not quit. He's unable to. There's a story at the very beginning. King of the Hill. He's one of the smaller kids. They're playing King of the Hill. The other kids are pushing him off. He will not stop trying to get up the hill until he finally makes it.
Okay. Hey, maybe you should say
and also,
hi.
Also, yeah. One of the Spartans returns home and sees her clone. Yeah. Also, Cortana is a clone of Catherine Halsey. She clones herself and then takes the brain pattern from her clone to make the pattern for the AI that is Cortana, which is why they get to use the same voice, I think, in the game. So, yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, maybe you should say hello to everyone in the chat. And
all right. Who's in the chat? Outpost Nerd is in the chat. Yes, we've seen him. He's already giving me a hard time. Man Jay Shear is in the chat. Good to see you. Hoodal, aka Master Cheeks. Yes, he's got a nice butt. I'm sure all the ladies and maybe some of the guys like it as well. Of course, Dave is in the chat. Greetings, Dave. Good evening. Good evening to you too. And that's it. It says we got a whole 6 viewers. It's better than 5. And those are people who have made themselves known in the chat. So yeah, all right. Okay. Is that it, Cam? We ready to get on? I've wasted enough time.
Yeah, you're gonna.
All right, let's get in. We're gonna have a little bit of a guest today because Cam says he doesn't know any of these shows, knows nothing of what he's doing, and he's lazy, so he wants to bring in Death Angel Shadow. Let's bring him in, Jeff. Welcome.
Oh, look at that.
This is a rarity. Usually it's
You don't,
me.
yeah, I know. Well, I tried to make it last week, but that show, I mean, we just went on and on. It was so awesome, but sorry. The best laid plans of
That's all right. We know you hate
cyborgs and wait, what? Huh? Hey, I already
Well,
got
you weren't
crap because my
you weren't on the show, so you must hate America.
restream showed up. my damn restream. Oh my god. I played my intro 5 times. You know how many times I had to hear it? 5 times where it went from the 5 preload and into the national anthem. When does it screw up? When we're on the air, when we're live, of course. But any rate. No, it was a great time. Great time. Oh Canada. Yeah. How are you guys doing up there?
Good.
Yeah, Outpost was a big winner.
Oh, on the show, yes.
Yeah,
in your show,
he made out like a bandit, man. I gotta do some checking on that. Rigged. No, it was not rigged. Any rate, I'm looking forward to this sexy sci-fi.
Yes,
and we're not
these are
talking
the
about
ones.
Deanna Troi, right?
No. Star. I mean, she's a sexy actress and on Star Trek,
right.
but we're talking more about shows
6, 7.
Isn't
that what the kids say nowadays?
Are the shows themselves are more on the sexy side, not just having a sexy actress.
I have a good one. I think I already posted it to you in the private chat in Discord. But
did you?
But do you want me to say it now, or is it on? It might be on your list.
You can if you want. Sure, why not?
Dollhouse.
Oh, Dollhouse. Oh.
Dollhouse.
All right, well, let's get into
today.
Let's get into the show.
Okay.
And the ones there. And it's in sort of a general list that I think the ones that are the more sexy ones, right? The more nudity, the more that nudity sort of crosses the line versus the other stuff. Well, some of them, some of them. But we'll see. So agree or disagree. It's sort of a general from the ones that are the most, from the least to the most of the ones. And all right, so let's get started. And you can complain. You can say I'm wrong or not, but it's sort of a general sort of thing. And the first one is, yes, you are correct. Dollhouse is on the list.
Yes,
and it is the first one. It is the last one. We're going from the least sexy to the more sexy. But
really, you didn't think that was okay?
No,
it's
pretty sexy.
More sexy.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
I mean, you had Eliza Dushku and Summer Glau.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Summer was Summer in this one?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Cam, do you know this one, Dollhouse?
I've heard of it. I never watched it though.
It's a Joss Whedon. Okay. It's a Joss Whedon show.
Yes, Joss Whedon, 2009 to 2010, 2 seasons. Joss Whedon. So the story is about these about the people who live in the house, which is they're called dolls, males and females. And what they do is they basically sign up for a 5-year sort of thing, and they get they copy their personality, and then they wipe their mind, and then they put various personalities in them. And sometimes they're hired by rich people for various things. They can be hired to be some sort of girlfriend of the week or sex slave type of thing. Sometimes they're programmed to be assassins or infiltrate or all kinds of hitmen, whatever you need them to do. And then they come back and their mind they're whatever happened to them is wiped again, and they're reprogrammed and sent out on their next mission, so to speak. And they get it's a 5-year thing. They get they sign up for. They get paid. At the end they get paid a fortune. They don't know anything about what's happened to them. what else? I think there's a clause. They can get killed in the line of duty, so there's some sort of clause there. What else? They exist in sort of a childlike state in between missions because they don't really know anything. They're kind of like adult kids. That's the main stuff about them.
Well, until things start going sideways.
Well, yeah, the thing that happens with Liza Dushku is her code name is Echo. She starts to remember bits and pieces of her old life and what happens to her. She's got, she's somehow able to, to do that. Not supposed to be happen, and no one else can.
Right.
There's a storyline. There's an FBI agent who kind of, sees a picture of her and is attracted to her. He's investigating the dollhouse because people don't think it exists. It's like, it doesn't. It's not legally existing. What else? There's a storyline. Here's a good. Alan Tudyk plays an escape doll. He's escaped. He's a genius and a serial killer. He's been driven mad by being implanted with all these memories. He's got sort of this group personality. He is the sort of the big enemy at the end of season 1 that is sort of messing things up. So it's not a bad concept for a show. It experiences or it themes about personality, identity, personhood are examined. The morality of this, even though she's a volunteer.
People.
Yeah, she's volunteered. James says it's a stupid premise. I think it's a great premise. The show starts.
Jeanette and I both liked watching it.
I enjoyed it too. I liked it. The show starts out. I mean, for this being one of the sexiest TV shows, the first episode, I believe, she comes out and she's wearing some sort of dominatrix type uniform. I think that's the very first episode, like the first sort of set piece in the thing. She's coming out because she's coming off of a mission. She's been and she comes back and then she's talking to her handler and they wipe his mind. So you can see that they start off right off the bat, slap her in some a lot of leather and dominatrix uniform and have her strutting around in high heels and stuff. So you can see the kind of show that it starts off with, which is it's into this list. Yeah. So Cam, you never saw this one. Jeff, anything you want to? Did you watch the whole thing? Anything you want to add to?
It's been a long time since it was on. I mean, it literally came out on the heels of Buffy, didn't it? It was Angel after Angel, shortly after Angel, and it was right before Joss got himself into a bit of trouble. In Hollywood, he became persona non grata.
I think it was quite a few years between that. Right, because he still did the Avengers after this.
Well, it was before. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was before, but some of the persona, some of the stuff that made him persona non grata may have happened around the time of Dollhouse. Yeah. So that came out later on.
Well, here I was quite a fan of Eliza here. But I hated Joss so much at this point that I didn't watch the show. So that's that. If that tells you which overrides which, but
she's good.
She's something.
Okay. What? I guess my question we're going to answer. What question is that? I don't see any question.
There's a question.
Something. I don't know. Opposed Nerd has a question that he's concerned is not going to get answered, but I don't know.
What's your question?
Wasn't this before he got into the movies?
So they are gigolos so it wasn't shown. It got because he used the word gigolos and call girls. So they are gigolos and call girls with my I know it's a little more than that. I think might be
it's a thinly veiled
that might be a part of it, but
you got I feel comfortable saying this. Joss is a pervert, right? Who
in your opinion
is believed to have done questionable things regarding and this seems to be a manifestation of his peak This is my speculation. This show is kind of like that coming, he had enough influence and where he could put out a show like that,
Maybe.
and
Oh,
get away
now
with
you're
it.
making me feel bad about the show.
But
including
it was a good show. I mean, it wasn't. So Joss is talented. I'm not gonna, but yes, he's a little bit of a creeper.
It's
I'd
more
say,
into the.
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
the sexual aspect is obviously there, for sure.
The
But I mean,
tantalization for
it's
sure.
more of the yeah, but it's more of the secret agent, spy, assassin
Mhm.
type stuff, which is more interesting. Which is what you know, they get into more. Like that's what she ends up doing. That kind of things. I mean, they throw in the sexual stuff at the beginning because to try to, but
Hook people. It was trying
Yeah.
to.
but it becomes
I mean,
more of
other shows like Silk Stockings and stuff like that were out at the time too.
yeah. That was
I think
way
they were-
those are way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
I think
right.
they were, but it was a good show. I sucks that he's turned out to be the guy he was, but or that at least most people say he is. That's their opinion. That's kind of my opinion too, but but it's an opinion. So
All right. Let's move on to the next one. It's actually the next one is Cam's favorite show.
Firefly.
Firefly, yes, of course. This is a pretty. I mean, we've got the reason we have this one in. 2002, one season. Of course, we've got Maureen
God,
Baccarin. She's the the what do they call it, a consort or whatever. She's a prostitute. So that kind of what makes it on this list.
Yeah.
There's a little bit. There's some other stuff in there. I mean, what's her name? The girl's the engineer. She's always horny in the show all the time. It seems a fair amount. Did you see, Kim? Have you ever seen the episode where you meet Malcolm Reynolds' wife? Do you remember that one? I hadn't remembered it looking back.
I don't remember. Do you mean the chick that he marries, in quotes or whatever?
Yeah, he's married to, or marries. It's played by Christina Hendricks, so she's on there in episode or two, and she's pretty hot. I mean, they kind of this show was a little bit on the. I guess when they were promoting it too, they were really pushing the fact that hey, we've got a prostitute on the ship. That was one of their big things. I think.
Again, one of these. Joss fantasy. There's a pattern. There's definitely a pattern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. She conned her way into becoming his wife. Yeah. Who cares? She was on the show. All right. Anything? I know Cam doesn't want to talk about Firefly.
I like the premise of Firefly as a show.
I do too.
I mean, and I thought Nathan Fillion did a great job in the role. I think had the show gone on and gotten to have more seasons, I think it could have developed much like we all know, like Next Generation. The first season was hit and miss at best, and then by the time they hit season 3, that's when things started really, Riker's beard, right? And the problem is they never had a chance to have his version of that. They didn't get that far. So
yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the show. I mean, there was a little bit of this. The sci-fi premise was, they're like, it was a little bit. They're talking about, well, it was really a one big solar system that they were in, a really big solar system, and that was kind of a little bit fuzzy how that was working. But I mean, that wasn't a big deal. My sci-fi, pushes it a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it would have been good to see a couple of more seasons of it. Though we've discussed this before, Cam, and I know we've always got to the point where we say, people are like, "Oh, this show is so great," blah blah blah. I don't know that it was, it was that good, right?
No, it wasn't.
It had potential, but
it was flawed from the beginning because he didn't do the work that needs to be done for a sci-fi show. And so, Jeff, I understand what you're saying about sometimes shows do get better, but his pattern is that it gets worse, not better, as it goes on.
Really?
My opinion. And
Okay, but Cam,
and
you're a
and
big
and
Buffy fan, and
yeah,
that's one of his, right?
yeah,
You
and
know,
it got decidedly worse.
yeah,
Really?
that's what you think. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, and
Not a fan of Once More with Feeling, huh?
well, actually, that was it. It was novel.
Everybody copied it
Right,
later on.
It's like, oh my god, this crap again. Now, but at the time, it was kind of novel, and it was
Right.
it was fun. But just in general, when he has a chance to be self-indulgent, he is, and it doesn't make for better stories. And in regards to Firefly, I think the show would have gotten worse as time went on, because the foundation wasn't there to make it a good story to begin with. Meaning that doesn't mean the premise. When I agree with you, Jeff, that I think the premise was good and was interesting, but he again doesn't believe in putting in that kind of background work with his shows. So that's why I think it wouldn't have really paid off in the end.
It would make an excellent traveler.
Yeah, it would. It would make a great setting. The premise of the setting was good, but it wasn't filled out sufficiently. That's my criticism of it.
Fair enough.
I do kind of like, again, it's just this hand waving kind of thing that doesn't work well for sci-fi, in my opinion.
What do you think about the people that like to argue that, oh yeah, but they've got spaceships, but they're like cowboys, and it didn't make sense? And I think that kind of works, actually.
Yeah, I think it can work. That's fine. I think they again, like Snob was saying, it's like one big system, with all these habitable planets, and it's like that doesn't make a lot of sense. You got to do a little bit of work in a sci-fi show.
Should have been a little more expansive, especially if
they didn't want to have faster light travel, though. Is the thing, which again, that's fine, but how do you get to where they are in the first place? Okay, in science, if you don't have faster than light travel, because I think we know that this is something like 500 years in the future or something like that, around that. Okay, you're not making it to anywhere without faster than light travel. See what I'm saying? It's like, so a huge element of sci-fi doesn't have to be that it's like exactly scientifically real, but it has to be credible. And he didn't do the work to make it credible. You can't travel between systems, and certainly we don't know of any that are anywhere nearby that you can get to without faster than light travel, but they did within a time frame that's not realistic, and then they had all this development also. Now
maybe?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say maybe Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
I don't know, was it, but
the closest star to us is Alpha Centauri. It's 4 light years
Alpha
away.
Centauri. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like 4.3 light years away or something like that.
At the speed
at the speed of light, and
it's
far. So they would need some sort of advanced. Yes.
Again, they don't need to spell it out in great detail. They needed to do something. Just it's like, this is how we got here.
Yeah, I would have set up some sort of. You'd set up some sort of binary star system with two suns that are far apart somehow, and there's all these various planets that are circling some of these suns.
No, Outposter says they explained all this. No, they didn't. They didn't explain all this. They kind of snapped their fingers and said that this is it.
Well, he does say in Serenity they explained it.
Yeah, well, they got a generational ship and terraformed the planets.
The
planets within the system itself, perhaps, but
Well, hey, maybe your show would do better if you actually explained things like that to a sci-fi audience to begin with.
Well, I mean, no, they can have terraformed the planets. That could be why you have a system with so many planets that are habitable. That's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying that it doesn't make sense. How
would you terraform a planet? Just curious. I mean, I'm not saying you have to say how would you imagine you would do something like that?
Terraforming a planet
Yeah.
First, you would have to introduce some sort of bacteria that could start reproducing in a hostile environment and start producing oxygen, and that would take significant amount of time. Then plant matter and stuff like that.
Atmospheric
there's this thing called the
terraformers.
well, that would be a large kind
It's
of
aliens.
a
Aliens.
large yes. That's up there. I'm glad you mentioned that because that would be a large industrial kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
was there any evidence of these large industrial things on these terraform planets that were basically?
Well, we don't know which
no.
ones were.
The
but
answer is
there
no.
were some
fair.
high technology planets, in part of the system, which was where the main bad guys are from, right? But these planets are they're like there's
this thing called the Goldilocks zone, which is
Yeah.
you could terraform any planet you want. Let's say you could. Let's pretend you could. It still doesn't change physics. And again, this is all within 500 years, right? There's no plausibility here. Is my point. And without having some kind of rather extraordinary meaning the more extraordinary the claim, the more extraordinary the explanation needs to be within sci-fi. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
And there is virtually none.
Most of the times in science fiction, you've got a story where you're talking about thousands of years to terraform a planet,
right? And like an alien, right? It's like this is something they have. It's huge, major efforts, right? Massive.
And even those,
efforts
I think
to do things.
they're suggesting that would be done faster than. It takes decades. I mean, I think it probably would take longer than that.
Well, our AI overlords have informed me that it's approximately 77,000 years.
Well, it's
at current technology.
Well, okay,
so we would clearly have to have.
Okay. Well, my point is, isn't that it isn't within the realm of sci-fi? I'm saying that I don't think it's a very big ask to have some sort of reasonable expectation and have the setting hold that up. You see what I'm saying?
The truth is, the Firefly universe makes a bigger sense in in let's say a 10,000 or 100,000 years in the future, where we've had some sort of galactic empire that has collapsed, and now this system has been by itself for hundreds of years, and they've evolved. They're operating like this.
Well, yeah, and my whole point is
they think that they're alone, and they have no knowledge of anything.
That's one possibility. There's any number of possibilities you can come up with, though, right?
Yeah,
in sci-fi, you have basically any option that you want to put together to make a credible story, you can do. That's my whole point. Joss Whedon is the kind of writer that doesn't bother putting credible stories together.
That was the thing that struck me about the show. The opening credits. Oh, it's 500 years in the future, and blah. I'm like, really? This doesn't seem like it would fit. And to be honest, he could have hired some science fiction writer and paid him. I'll pay you $500. I want to make a show about this and that. What's a good background for it? And somebody like Neil Asher or any of the guys, Larry Niven, any of these science fiction writers could come up in half a day. You put four of them in a room and come up with a really reasonable way.
Okay,
that this would happen,
again,
and you don't have to pay them that much either.
You might not be aware of this, but Joss Whedon is known for saying something like research is for sissies or losers or something, some disparaging the kind of work that one should do when they're trying to write sci-fi. He doesn't care. He's the kind of writer that says, I want to put something in front of you and make you react to it because I'm telling you to react to it. Yes, he's not a sci-fi guy. That's right. And it shows. Outpost Nerd, I'd like to note your comment of utterly missing the point. Thank you for that. So anyway, that's my criticism of, and one of the reasons it stuck in my craw, about it, because I do like sci-fi. And again, I like the premise, that it's like that they decided to go with not having faster than light travel stuff, and within a solar system, that's credible, right? That you can have, like in what's that?
It's like The Expanse.
Yeah, The Expanse, right? Where they Right. There's a reason for it where it's like, okay, now you've got this super efficient system where it kind of changes the nature of space travel as we know it, right?
They can,
They
instead
put
of
that bit of
taking
work
8
in.
months to get to Mars, they can get there in a few weeks.
Well,
Because they've got
so
Hey,
everything.
Recommend.
I
Yeah, welcome
pressed,
with it, man.
I pressed.
Putzler, how would you know if I gave a good point? You don't understand points.
Uh oh. Now. Chill out, kid.
Um, So yeah,
so
so I like there's a and the whole premise of a frontier type Western style world does make sense in some aspects. What's his name? Heinlein did it a lot, where where the people who come to the world, they're like it's so expensive and it takes so long to travel between star systems that you can only bring completely essential stuff. And when you form a new world, you're going to start out at a you're going to use horses because they can replenish themselves, right? You can bring in one horse and 2 horses, and you can then make you can just keep having horses. You can feed them with hay. You can make wagons and that kind of stuff. They're making it out of wood. So he makes it credible. He's in some of his novels he's done it that way, where people are living 1800 style.
But he's using more of a like you said, it's the he's dealing with the expense to move something to that, right? Whereas this show is showing that they can easily be bopping. This is a tramp freighter kind of thing, right? They can be easily bopping all over their star system, right? It's not a. I mean, they did run out of fuel on the episodes.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's it's certainly doable, right? And that technology exists, and they have this was a little. I think this is more nitpicky rather than fundamentally an issue with the show. But like again, they're very frontier worlds, 1800s technology, let's say. But within this they have space travel. They have a very advanced space travel compared to us. Within the size of the the Serenity, you can put very substantial machine tools and advanced technology things. And I'm not saying you're going to have like the inner planets or whatever, like a fully developed thing, but you could have, let's say, 1900s technology, meaning you have machinery, industrial machinery, not large scale, I'm saying, but like machine shop machinery, like a ship. Every ship running around out there has machinists and that level. You're not cowboy level necessarily at that point. What I'm saying, the technology they have demonstrated and the ability to move cargo and have things like solar panels and power systems and things like that would be able to sustain a significantly higher level of technology, I believe, than cowboy level.
So what you're saying basically is that the tech level should have been a little higher than was represented predominantly in the show.
I think yes, I think it would be more credible.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Yes, it could have been. I mean, if you look at something like Star Wars, right, where you have,
what does this have to do with the sexiness of the show?
That's true. And Dave is rightfully asking that we don't spend more time on this. But if you put this in front of me, it's gonna, make me.
Dave wants us to move on. I agree. We've talked about Star. This is not,
Okay, so Space Hooker, Crazy Girl, and Mechanic Tramp Girl, I guess.
Yeah.
So bravo, Josh. Bravo.
So
and Zoe, who was just a badass. Right?
Yeah. So one last comment on this. Potentially, we could do it within maybe a 40 to 50 year window. We might be able to improve technology feasibly, according to Grok, anyways, where we could achieve it within 50 years. So
achieve what?
Achieve traveling to something like Alpha Centauri in 40 to 50 years. So. And that's in the future, obviously. Yeah.
Physics says otherwise. It's like.
Well, I mean, this is based upon
without a breakthrough scientific discovery,
nuclear fusion drives,
and I'm saying you absolutely could do that in sci-fi. You could have that explained credibly, right? It's not a problem. It could be done.
But there should have been an explanation. Fair enough.
Weatherman mentions here. He says, with the ease in which you can travel from planet to planet, how do you have backwards planets? It needs to explain it. Yes, that's the exact.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
that
the
was
kind
a
of thing
little bit
you can't have.
incredulous to me.
And again, this Joss is the kind of writer who wants to have this thing to say, "Ooh, neat, cowboys in space." So, well, I want cowboys in space. Therefore, the technology is such that it produces cowboys in space. Do you see what I'm saying? That's just again, that's just the kind of writer he is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
More sexy.
What do we have next? Yeah.
I don't
Battlestar
know.
Galactica.
The original.
No, not the original.
Oh,
Though the original was pretty sexy.
the original was way better.
Too.
Fight me on it.
Trisha Helfner, Katie Sackhoff,
Yeah.
Grace Park. I mean,
Yeah.
these women were all over. They were the sex symbols of the time. 2003 to 2009, when Battlestar Galactica was out. They even.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, just to interrupt you 1 second. Outpost Nerd does bring up a good point about first world nations versus third world nations. That is a fair point. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But even third world nations are not, they're not quite living in, like, they have access to technology. They're not, horse and buggy usually. They're just, rundown cars, and, they just don't maintain them. But anyway, all right. We're past that. I mean, this was a pretty sexy show. You've got 3 pretty sexy women, and they pushed that. I mean, they were all over magazines at the time, all of that. It was, and this was a pretty popular show. Gentlemen, what do you think? Jeff?
It was okay.
I really liked it.
I liked the
It was
original.
a great
Battlestar
show.
Better. The original was like 10 times better.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Was
No,
it
seriously.
Well, okay. Let's just ask about that real quick. Did you? Was it? Do you think there's a nostalgia element to that, or did you just like the theme of it differently, or-
there might be. So I'll tell you what I liked about the new Battlestar, right? Was I especially in the miniseries where they launched it, right?
Mhm.
I liked how it took a very. This is basically you are on board. A Battlestar was effectively an aircraft carrier in space, right? I liked that concept. I loved the miniseries and how that.
Mhm.
What I hated was I hated Cylons looking like humans.
Okay.
Absolutely hated that whole notion. And of course, every one of them that you mentioned was a Cylon. So
Okay. Well, Katie Sackhoff wasn't.
no, yeah, I don't know what she was.
Yeah, that got weird at the end.
That
for
got
sure.
very weird, and it was very discombobulated. Katie won me over because originally I was like, no, that's a dude. What are you talking about? You know,
There was a lot of pushback
but
when she was there, but she did win the fans.
She
over.
She won me over. Yeah, and that is very impressive.
Well,
It's hard to do. Yeah, and that was that was them trying to break the nostalgia thing. Because Apollo, and
I gotta say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go.
I was just gonna say that didn't bother me at all. That particular swap because it didn't have the feel of the way things are now in terms of this. It's like, oh, we have to do this because XYZ. Whereas, I mean, this was a while back now, right? When did it originally the miniseries come out? It was what,
early 2000s,
or something like that.
Yeah, maybe 3.
This show was 2003 to 2009.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, man, time flies. Yeah,
So
it wasn't
23 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
My
they
God,
they weren't doing the DEI thing at that point.
Right. Right.
But I mean, obviously in the original series, Boomer was a guy, and so was
Boomer was my favorite character in both versions.
Now, Boomer was hot in the new series. Don't get me wrong. She got that thing going, and of course she went on to star in other shows too. She was
Hawaii
in
Five-0.
Hawaii Five-0, and I loved her in Hawaii Five-0. She was in for a couple of seasons. I think she left at some point. I don't know if it was contract dispute or whatever, but
I'd love to talk about the show, but Snob, you're saying that this show couldn't be made today?
I
mean,
think
that's
it
kind of
could
the
be.
premise of this, right? I think
I-
it could be.
yeah, I think it could be.
Well,
yeah.
are you okay, Trisha?
Okay, yeah. So she
Now
she
I've
pulled,
only got a bit of a pic. I've only got a couple of shots here, but some of these are from promos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But just think about think back to the show and the dresses that she
she
wore,
very much
and
did
the
the
way
Sharon
that
Stone thing.
the way that she was draped over Gaius Baltar.
She did
A
the
lot of the
Sharon.
times, very sexy, sitting
Yeah.
on the desk, crossing her legs. Like she was. I mean, the whole premise of number 6 is that she's using her sexuality to get Baltar to betray the human race.
Yeah.
Basically,
Apparently,
right?
it's a whole Cylon thing. They do that a lot, apparently.
Yeah. So, I'm not. Could it be made again now? I mean,
I think it would be
maybe,
much
but,
less
but
likely
not
that
the
they
way
would.
they would not. They would not do that with her. And she is a very sexy woman. I mean, she is.
I don't
she's
know.
in
I
my
think
top
I think
10
I
for
think
sure.
I think the gal that played Boomer was hotter.
Grace Park.
Yeah, Grace Park. Grace Park
way.
was.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I'm
10 times
I'm-
better.
It's Trisha, then Katie, and then Grace.
Nope, Grace was
Are you
top.
kidding me?
Yeah. She's the femme. She's the classic femme fatale for sure.
She was
dialed up to
basically
11.
like I said, she was basically like she was the role she was playing with Baltar. She was like Sharon Stone when in
For
her
sure.
most famous role.
Yeah.
That's the type. That's I can almost guarantee you. They said, remember when Sharon Stone was in? I can't remember the movie. Fatal
Basic
Attraction
instinct.
or Basic Instinct. Thank you.
Hmm.
That's what we want you to. I'll bet you that's what she was told. That's what we're looking for, is that type of thing. Be that seductive. Try to convince him. And I mean, yeah, it worked. Again, like I said, I have a problem with toasters looking like humans, but what can I say?
My big problem with with that aspect of the show is that you can't actually tell them apart, right? Like they are so basically these Cylons are biological machines.
Right.
So at that point, then what is the difference? Right?
Right, because that's what we are.
If you look so human that you can't tell in any way that you're human or not human by a scan or by taking you apart or autopsy, then what's the point? Like are you not a human in that case?
Well, they went very high concept, I guess, or philosophical, very deep into that kind of thing. And I think in some ways it worked, in some ways it didn't. The one reason that I completely disconnected it from the original, when they and I think this is way better to do, actually, is like, yeah, this is a complete reboot. It's not an extension. It's not.
Oh yeah, it's a
We're
reboot.
not trying to be this. It's its own. It's its own thing, and that made me able to enjoy it more. Whereas like Star Trek did the exact opposite. They muddied everything up. They let J.J. Abrams stomp all over Star Trek continuity and make it this big mess. And it's like, is it really a different universe? Isn't it? It's like kind of the worst way to do it. But
I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
These reboots need to be different because they're. I mean, even the sensibilities of the audience from the late 70s to the mid 2000s, people are looking for different things. The audience.
Well,
different.
I mean,
you've got to take that into account.
Things do develop in TV. They've developed, right? I mean, a show from the 70s is very different. Not even dealing with content, just the way it's presented and the storylines and things.
Yep.
Battlestar Galactica, and again, the original show was pretty brief. It was one season, right? And
2.
And then, well,
no,
if you count Galactica 1980.
No,
I think it was 2
sure?
seasons and then a season of Galactica.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna look it up? Okay, you look it up.
Yeah.
I have the box set, by the way. Anytime you want to do a rewatch of the classic show, I'm up for it.
25% different. Yeah, trash it up, JJ. Yeah.
25%.
The audience evolves. We evolve. We want different things.
Okay.
We expect different things from our television shows.
according to this, the Battlestar Galactica, the original, was 24 episodes, which is slightly more than us. It says one season,
That's the
That's one
season,
season.
basically.
Yeah.
and then Galactica 1980 was a kind of a extension of that, and that was 10 episodes.
Okay.
So
So it wasn't 2 seasons; it was one.
Well, the first 3 episodes were released in as a theatrical
movie.
release too. Yeah. But you can watch them. There's minor changes, edits and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
well,
even
Zach, you see him, right? His brother get
yes,
killed and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and if you think about some of the actresses that played in that too, it was a very sexy show.
Jane
too.
Seymour.
Jane
Oh
Seymour.
yeah, there's
in her
some
prime, man.
scenes.
We're
There's a
talking
scene-
pre medicine woman. You know, Dr. Quinn, pre Dr.
Oh, yeah,
Quinn
way
stuff.
before that.
There's
Yeah.
a scene where Apollo is talking to a bunch of women. They're training them to be like backup pilots or something, and they're all in their flight suits,
Yes.
which are kind
Yeah.
of these skin tight sort of things. Yeah, you know.
Well, and don't. I always want to say facilitators. What was the term for them in the original series that they had?
Oh, the hookers, you're saying?
Well, we don't call them that. They
Well, you know what they are,
they
though.
actually, yes.
I'm trying to remember what they were. They were.
Chat will get it.
Somebody in chat's gonna say
Well,
it.
it's funny, isn't it, that they like all these shows like having space hookers.
Yeah, let me see.
Outpost Nerd says Viper's one of the best sci-fi fighters ever. I think
They're pretty cool.
They are cool, and I think that the new show really did a good job of displaying them, because they're more like the Babylon 5 ones, where they deal a little bit more with realistic physics, meaning they turn around in space and they can shoot back, and keep continuing, with momentum and such. So I think they represented them pretty well.
Socialators. They were called socialators.
That's a good name.
Yeah, they did some good stuff in this show.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the first episode of season 1? I think is 33. Great episode, gripping.
Yeah, it was
one of the best. Definitely one of the best episodes in this show.
Yeah, I know it's not a Battlestar Galactica show. I think some of the best. If you took the best episodes of this show, I would put it up there with some of the best in sci-fi. I can understand the overall storyline. People, it's like, okay, this is, it did kind of fall apart in some ways.
They fall apart at the end, but that's typical, right?
I just really. I could get one maybe like Trisha's character, maybe being this special creation that they came up with, but when it's like, and you're a Cylon, and you're a Cylon, and you're a Cylon, it kind of became. It was like,
did you watch the whole way through though, Jeff, to the end?
I can't remember, to be honest. Okay. I think I did.
Because again, of course, the clankers, the toasters did exist in this, and they did kind of have like the older era, when they weren't android-like, they were just robotic. And I did like how they kind of transferred over to that, and again, they got like 80% there in where they wanted to go. It seems, with them being humanoid. I think a lot of it was probably budget, to be honest with you.
Well, in the mini series, they had them on board the Galactica when it was before it went back and was pressed back into service, when it was it had been retired officially, and now was becoming a museum, and they had some of the original Cylons from the previous Cylon War. That was kind of how they were tying it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the future now, so it's not the same.
But I mean, even at the very beginning, though, when Trisha Helfer showed up at the very beginning of the show, the clank, she did have the toasters with her too.
Yeah.
She had the big, the kind of instead of being the shiny silver ones, they were more kind of a muted grayish, metallic looking.
Yeah, right. In the I know what you're saying. You're right. In the museum display, they had the ones like
the glass cases. They had the original Cylons that you used to see in the original Battlestar, and of course you would see in the opening for the A-Team.
Yeah. Outpost Nerd mentions about the Pegasus. Yeah, the Pegasus storyline was pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, it was a good storyline.
Yeah, it was cool, but
I think
I know
it's
everybody
best
loves it,
if you could
but
set aside if you could set the more you could separate them. I think the more you could enjoy.
I,
You know,
maybe
It's a
that's my
reboot.
maybe that's my problem, and I'm hopeful that maybe in the next reboot, because there's talk about it, right? I don't know what the
yeah.
status is of it. Um, maybe they'll kind of do a kind of a balance between the two. I don't want everybody to
Did,
be a Cylon.
did you watch Caprica, the
I
following series?
tried. I watched it
Yeah,
for a little while. That was totally not a sexy show at all. That was two beat cops on Caprica trying to, kind of it was almost a prequel, really.
it was
It
definitely
was a
pretty
prequel.
cool.
Yeah. So
Um, well, it was pretty. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not saying you could call it sexy, but it was very bawdy though. Meaning it might not have been enticing, but it was very adult themed in a lot of ways, though, because there's a lot
it
of
was dark. Yeah.
they're kind of a degenerate society. You know, it's very well like our own now, in a lot of ways. You know, it was. Like they had analogs to the internet and all that with the because remember they had like that whole VR world and all that stuff,
Yeah. Kind
and
of,
where
sort of.
like
That
the
may
high
have.
school kids were involved with it. It was dark.
It was a commentary on the society at the time that we were at, and really
Yeah.
kind of still
Eh,
are.
Outposter says Adama was a kid in Caprica. Yes, but they also did a bait and switch there a little bit too. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but who we thought was Adama really wasn't, or the Adama that we see on Battlestar, um, as I recall. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, we're
All right.
delving probably too deeply into
Yeah,
these
yeah,
shows.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. What's the
That's my
next
fault.
sexy? What's the next sexy thing?
All right.
How many
Next,
you got, Snob?
a bunch more.
Okay, so we should
A
probably
lot.
lightning round some of these, right?
Yeah, let's speed
Yeah,
run some of
I
these.
got 13 total.
Okay.
Farscape.
Yeah, I could see that.
1999. Look, a lot of, this show, except for the puppets, of course. Even the aliens are pretty hot. You like even the bald chick. If you like them bald, she's got a pretty good body. Claudia Black, who plays Zahn there, the the actress right beside the main there. Pretty sexy cast overall, I think.
Claudia Black has got she's got a lot of sci-fi creds to her name too.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't she in Stargate? Some of the Stargates? Was she in Stargate?
I don't know.
You haven't seen Stargate?
No, but well, okay, but this is starting to bring a pattern up, though. It's like, yeah, there are these definitely in this era. There are these characters that are supposed to be there for eye candy purposes, and and not just visually, but otherwise as well, thematically, and that's the kind of thing today. It's like you're totally right. So, if that's the premise of the show, you're right. These things wouldn't be made in the same way today. Because it's like, oh no, they can't be a woman at all. They have to.
They're even good kids. They're still good characters too, right? Like just because like the character that Claudia Black plays, what's the character? The name escapes me right off. I think that's a good character, right? She's an ex-military from the bad guys.
Like the Empire thing.
Yeah, it's their version of the Empire or whatever. Sorry, Zahn was the blue character. Yes, thanks, Dave. Zahn is the blue character. Claudia Black. Zahn, she doesn't normally, you see her wearing some sexy stuff, and she's kind of she's kind of a bit of a hippie, a free love type thing when she's talking to the rest of the crew. She's like, well, why wouldn't you explore your body type stuff? Everybody in the cast, all the crew they're all like, yeah, let's get it on, sort of. In a sense.
But she was in Pitch Black as well, and Queen of the Damned. So
Claudia was in Stargate in later seasons.
She was in the Ark of Truth. She was Vala. Yeah. So
yes, they wouldn't make this today.
Virginia Hay is Zahn. So it's just Claudia Black plays Arian's son yeah, there's a whole, just that's the way we made shows back in the 90s.
She was even in an
Yeah.
episode of Xena, which of course is not sci-fi, but she was in an episode of Farscape.
Yeah, Ben Broder is John Crichton. He's the main. He's not. He's pretty easy on the eyes.
Who? What?
Ben Browder, John Crichton. He's the.
We need to have a talk with Stump's wife. I think he needs to tell her something.
Yeah, they had this show is well known for the various the Jim Henson Muppet creations as well in there for some of the aliens. Specifically, the guy you can see there looks like a bit of a frog with whiskers, and then the guy this big guy that sits in the ship and I don't know runs the ship somehow. He can never leave.
I need to go back and do a watch of Farscape.
I got into it. I started watching the first couple episodes. I got 3 or 4 in.
I don't know why I never got into it. I mean, I would watch it on occasion, but like I have not seen every episode of Farscape. I can tell you that I've seen every episode of the other show.
Weathermen suggest the first season was a little rough.
A friend of mine's a huge fan of this. He's been on me to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To try and watch it, and I tried, because I think it was a while back, at least streaming on YouTube like continuously, and I tried, and it's like, man, those first couple episodes were hard to get through for me.
You can still, all the episodes are on YouTube. That's where I was watching it.
So they got a Farscape channel, don't they?
I think they're just all on it. You don't even have to go to a channel.
So she left after Farscape ended. Then she must have gone on to SG1 because that she was on from 2004 to 2007. So she was on for 3 years on Stargate. So. And
this is I think this show is 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So it's the whole there's some scenes too. They're not afraid to the character of John Crichton with Arian's son. They're not afraid to get a little handsy with each other, like falling on top of each other, that kind of thing. They have some sort of romance later. I think he asks her to marry him or something. So that that aspect, that's what makes it sexy. That aspect, the free love, bald, hot alien, the whole things that I don't know that we would see nowadays. All right, let's move on. Okay, this next one, I don't know.
Is Stargate going to come up in your list?
Well, Stargate's not that sexy.
Really?
Well, look at these lists, man. I mean,
oh my God, Colonel Carter? What's wrong with you, man?
Okay, Cam, have you seen this one?
No,
the 100.
Yes, I have seen the 100.
This is 2014 to 2020, 7 seasons. I mean, it's just like it's I think it's a CW show. The premise is that Earth has been, not destroyed, but has been damaged, ecologically damaged. And so, what are we going to do? We're up on the space station, spinning on the Earth. Is the Earth ready to go? Let's send down a bunch of 100 horny teenagers with a mix of male and female. They're all 17 by themselves. And gee, what's going to happen? So, of course, in between, trying to quote, find out if the Earth is safe or, whatever. I mean, there's all this teen drama, who's dating who, and, lots of, as sexy as the network can make it without breaking the ratings where, somebody's got their clothes ripped, but not, perfectly so that you can't, it's just a little titillating, not bad enough for the censors to get involved. So, I mean, I think this show was very much unapologetically a sci-fi show for teenagers, which is probably why I couldn't get through it. I tried watching it because I heard about it, but I couldn't get through it.
So let me tell you, the first season of 100, just like most shows that were on CW, was good. It was a good show. And then CW did what CW is going to do. And this was when the whole woke DEI, all that garbage came into effect. and they literally took the show and twisted it into a pile of garbage, just like they did with every other CW show. That was good. There was a lot of other shows that had been on before this show that had made it a couple of seasons, and then really the only show that survived mostly unscathed was Supernatural. But every other CW show suffered from this whatever garbagification, and
Yeah.
and it just kind of went downhill, and it was like, but what happened? The show was decent, had a good premise.
Some of the things about the show, it's I think it's known for the worst character death, like the stupidest character death in in a TV show, and also the ending is not is pretty bad, which is it's saying a lot when you've got a bad ending, because there's lots of bad endings, and lots of writers don't seem to know how to end their shows. So that's pretty. I think that's a bit telling on the show.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. All right. That's 100 horny teenagers all alone on a planet with nothing to do but oh, I ripped my clothes, and oh, I've got to wash in the stream, etc. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Oh, this Cam, you might remember this one.
I remember it. Never watched it.
You never watched it?
Mm-mm.
Dark Angel, 2000 to 2002. James Cameron, 2 seasons, set in a Seattle future cyberpunk type dystopia. Of course, Jessica Alba at the time, one of the most sexiest women at the time. And she just every scene she's in, she just owns it. And
I never watched it either.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched a bit of it.
I'm sorry.
I think I don't remember much. It's so long ago, but it was it's a reasonably good show. Her character's name is Max. She's a genetically enhanced soldier. And going through their what the whole premise is that she escaped from a covert military facility as a child. She's trying to lead a normal life while eluding capture from government agents and trying to find her brothers and sisters who have been scattered after their escape. So, it's, James Cameron doing TV.
Oh, yay. Not blue people.
Yeah, I mean,
yay.
I think it's I thought it was a pretty good show, but it only made 2 seasons. They just killed it. 22 and 21 episodes.
Was this a sci-fi TV show?
No, it was on Fox. It was on Fox.
It was I think it was a Fox. Yeah, Fox. It was a Fox show. Fox seemed to be killing things at this time.
Well, I mean,
oh, it's not good enough. Kill it.
Was this before the Disney acquisition?
Yeah, well, long before.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's 25 years ago. Yeah.
So, I mean, Disney bought Fox 10 years ago, right? So
something like that.
Yeah, it was a good. It was a good. I thought it was an interesting premise. What is she? She's a bike messenger driving around. That's her normal job, and then cat burglar by day while she's trying to find her her brothers and sisters. Not a bad premise. And Cameron's pretty good. He's done some good stuff.
All
right.
Moving on.
No Love for Dark Angel. All right.
Who? What?
No Love for Dark Angel. Okay.
Never heard of it.
Dark Angel. We just did that one. No Love for Dark Angel. Okay. Cam, do you recognize this one?
Well, I recognize the movie.
Right. So this is, and I wasn't aware of this.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
There was a 5-season TV show, 94 to 97, of Weird Science.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
believe that? I didn't know that.
I do
So-
recall something about it, but I never watched it.
I think I may have seen some episodes here and there, but man, I was an adult,
I have
and
never seen any of these episodes. Didn't know it exists. So, of course,
Yeah.
the TV show is based on the John Hughes 1985 film with Kelly LeBrock. I mean, what can we say, Kelly LeBrock? Now, they
Kelly
did a
LeBrock.
pretty good job of casting her replacement, so that you can see her. That's Vanessa Angel. You've seen her in what else has she been in? She was on some episodes. She was on SG1.
Okay.
She plays. Who did she play on SG1? A very sexy character. Help me out, chat. Anybody who's seen Stargate? Jeff, I thought you saw a lot of Stargate. She has a.
I've seen
she's
all
in
of
there.
Stargate, yeah.
Well, what did she play then? On Stargate.
I don't recognize her like that.
So
what's her name?
Vanessa Angel. All right, well, it'd come up. But anyway, the whole premise of the show is basically the premise of the movie. Can you believe they did 5 seasons of this? They just sort of like, the two slackers try to get her to do something, of course, and it always backfires. And it's basically the same as the movie, but just 5 seasons of that. They've got, they have a guy playing the role of Chester. Lee Turgson plays the big brother. Bill Paxton's role.
How do you follow that?
You got the two guys. You can see they even look like, right, blonde hair, dark hair, everything like that. So, basically follows the premise of the movie. She's the magic genie. She's gorgeous. They they bring her to life in the same way in the movie. I think they made a comment about in the pilot. This is kind of funny. In the pilot episode, I think that the two characters make a comment about how let's try to bring a girl to life with a computer, and how are we gonna do that? Oh, I saw it in a John Hughes film. I'm sure we can figure it out. Like that kind of thing. So I think they reference it slightly, but yeah. Anyway, you can just imagine. Look at her; she's quite the stunner, and all of the episodes, revolve around her wearing, dressing very sexy in some sort of, that aspect of it. Yeah,
she was in 3 episodes of Stargate SG1. She played Freya, is that right? I think
she was apparently she's also runner up for 7 of 9. The job of 7 of 9.
I could see that.
She lost it to Jerry Ryan. She was,
she's an English actress, so
yeah. Okay, so that's even though I've never seen an episode, that's a very sexy one. All right, you might not. I don't know if you recognize this one, Camp. Altered Carbon.
No, I never saw it.
Never saw it. I've read 3 of the novels, and I did see season 1 and 2 of this. Excellent show. The season 1, excellent in my view. So, Altered Carbon revolves around the idea of set in the future. Revolves around the idea of sleeving. Everyone has everyone who's anyone has a piece of. This has been re-engineered from alien technology. They basically put a disc between your vertebrae in your neck, and it records your personality and all your memories and everything. And what happens is that people, you can just simply, if you die, they can just take that piece of technology out and put it into a clone of your body or another body, and it's called sleeving. So, of course, this is a bit of a dystopian. You've got a very degenerate, rich class who basically live forever. Their backups of their memories are kept in the cloud, and they can can just switch bodies by just taking your sleeve out, putting it somewhere else, that sort of thing. While the poor, only get one life.
I don't like the sound of this at all. Sleeving.
It's a bit of a dystopia.
They basically have an alternate you, so to speak, right?
So there's some rules, but the rich don't necessarily follow the rules. So the story revolves around the character of Takeshi Kovacs, who is his real body is in the bottom left. The Asian guy, that's actually his body. So he is he rebelled with a group called, he's an envoy, they call him, and they rebelled about 250 years ago against the way the society is run, and but they were defeated, and so he's been in prison, basically unsleeved for 250 years at the start of this, and they bring him out to solve this crime, and he's put into the body of Joel Kinnaman, you see at the top there. So the show is being it's kind of interesting because the main show is going on, and you see Joel Kinnaman as the character, and then there's some flashbacks with Kovacs, and that's I think it's his sister beside him, in the bottom left of the screen, and those are from like 250 years ago. There's no real appreciative change in technology or anything, but it's been that long, and so there'll be you'll be talking of the rebellion, you'll see different pieces of it. So so he's got to solve this murder of the murder of this rich guy, and the rich guy, what happens is the guy was murdered, and then his backup kicks in, so he doesn't remember the entire day, so he doesn't know who kills him, and of course he's rich, he wants to know who betrayed him, type of thing. He wasn't, he was killed in his home. His body was found in his home. It's not like he, it was in a car accident or anything like that. So somebody close to him murdered him. So he decides to, bring Kovacs out. And of course, Kovacs is, he was a rebel. He's got mercenary skills. He's been a political operative who rebelled against the government. So he's, highly trained, that sort of thing. So it's very, very interesting storyline. There's some great, on the bottom right, Kinnaman lives in this hotel, which nobody seems to go to. It's kind of empty, and it's run by this AI. You can see the AI, the character. One of the guy, great character in the show. The guy who's playing the AI that's running this hotel that nobody lives in. A bit of a dystopian future. This hotel used to be like a fancy hotel, but it's now in a crappy part of town with drugs and all kinds of stuff. Great season. Season 2, not as good. It stars Anthony Mackie as the main character. He's still Kovacs, of course, but you can change bodies, you can change actors whenever you want, right? So you can just simply put him in whatever body you wish. So it's kind of interesting, a really easy way to do it. But second season, not as good as the first. So it's a bit of a detective story with this whole background, but I highly recommend the first season. I quite enjoyed all the books, but interesting. Pretty sexy. There's some, you can see Kinnaman's coming out of he's coming out of being sleeved. There's some, a girl is murdered, who's a prostitute. There's some, it's a bit of a degenerate society. So it's a bit, there's some sexiness overall. Okay. Oh, geez, I'm missing all these chats. Thanks, Weatherman.
Yeah, you're slacking, dude.
Are you slacking? Remind me. Thanks, Weatherman.
I'm not your co-host. I'm just a guest.
I wasn't paying attention to that. Well, what the hell are you here for then? Jeez. Okay. Well, let me just go right down there. All right. I thought no one was talking in the chat, and then it's just got to scroll.
No, there's all kinds of stuff.
You guys haven't seen. Neither of you guys saw this one. All right. So I guess I will. I've given everything about the show. Anything you guys want to add? I recommend it for anybody who hasn't watched it. At least the first season. It's pretty good.
I have not seen this one. So the first season is good. Does it kind of peter off later on?
Yeah, the second season's just not as good. The production values are very good in the show. Second season, not so much. I think they cut the budget a bit. Anthony Mackie is just not as good as Joel Kinnaman in the role, in my view. I didn't thought he was that great, but yeah, very cyberpunk feel. It is very much so. It's good. Yeah, Weatherman agrees. First season was very good. Second one wasn't as. Agree. All right, let's move on. Next one. What do we got next? Westworld. Have anyone seen
I
this?
have not watched it.
Nope.
No, neither. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I
think
know
this
the
was before-
premise, but
Yeah, sorry, just going back. I think this was before Anthony Mackie got big on Marvel. Yes, I think it was. Sorry, Netflix, Altered Carbon. Oh, when was it on Netflix? It's based on a 2002, 2018, 2020, based on a 2002 novel. Okay, Westworld. I mean, okay, so we start out. I mean, you've heard of everyone's heard of the show. Based on the
Yes.
movie Westworld. Season 1, very much tons of skin in season 1, naked people everywhere. I mean, the season 1 focuses on the park. Right after season 1, the park has been wrecked. The robots have escaped in a sense. So the first season is people coming into the park, and I mean, the main character that we view, he's kind of resisting this hedonism, because everybody's a robot, you can do whatever you want, go and kill people, rape them, do whatever, everything's okay, and he's kind of resisting that, but not everybody else is. So it's very very sexual in that way, because there's a lot of that going on. First season was okay. It went downhill after that. Yeah, I think I made it to the first season, thought it was pretty good, and I don't know, I didn't get it into the second season. I mean, it's an interesting idea. They're off into the real world, and they're fighting for their freedom type of thing, but there was some questionable.
this was an HBO show, right?
It was.
Okay.
It was an HBO show, so it's HBO. So
if
they
you didn't
get
have
pretty,
HBO, you were probably not going to see it.
yeah, but they also HBO tends to get a little bit into the R-rated stuff. They're not
Yeah, I mean, Stargate, the first season of that was on Showtime, so there was stuff in the first season of Stargate that was never seen later on. They had to edit that stuff out. So
there's some questions in the show, like is this guy a robot? Is that guy a robot? What's going on?
yeah,
it's a little bit confusing at the beginning, but yeah. All right. Okay, I'll move on. Okay, close to the end here. Okay, so I don't think Cam has seen this one. Brave New World, one season only. Anybody seen that?
No.
I watched the show because, of course, I'm a big fan of the book, and I thought the show was very, very well done. And it's a shame it didn't get another couple seasons. So anyone who knows anything about Brave New World, set about 500 years in the future, everyone lives in New London. These people live in New London. It's basically it is every sex and children and intimacy are basically divorced from each other. One of the quotes of the show is "Everyone belongs to everyone," and they believe that. If you were to refuse to have sex with somebody, then it's looked at as very, very oh, there's something wrong with you. They're constantly drugging themselves with pills. It's basically our society taken to the extreme of hedonism.
I was going to say, sounds kind of pervy to me.
Yeah, it's taken to the extreme hedonism. The society is very set into classes like alpha, beta, and then of course the lower levels, the gammas, do the dirty work, and everybody is genetically engineered. They're all grown in test tubes and born. You don't really have a family. Everyone is, and they're specifically grown to be a certain level of intelligence based on what level you're going to be in society. But the show sets it up very well, and sets up John, who's played by Alden Ehrenreich. He lives in America on this preserve where they have none of that. They're kind of kept in, they're kept in a certain area with a with a shield that doesn't let them out, and they're just allowed to do whatever they want. And it's kind of a bit of a lawless society. And they're the savages. They're called the savage land, so to speak. But the show is good because it sets it up very well. You see all these things going on, and then there's hinted at some sort of discontent. Well, first of all, you can see the discontent with even the higher ups. They're always drugging themselves, and they're upset, and they know that they feel that there's something they're missing from their lives. But there's also something going on with the Gammas, and the season 1 ends with a rebellion, kind of sparked by John showing up and showing these people that this is kind of wrong. Logan's run without the escape. You could say that, but it's actually, I mean, it doesn't follow the book in the sense, because the book, there's no rebellion in the book, but it does set up, the society is well set up exactly, very similar to the way the book is set up, but it just takes the story a different way. Like, what if there had been some sort of rebellion? In the book, John gets depressed and kills himself, and they go to watch. People go, "Oh, look, he killed himself," and they don't really care. He's so depressed by the degenerate society, he commits suicide. But the show was going somewhere, and I would have loved to see it, go on and see what happened to the society. So the reason it's on this list is because, of course, there's a lot of there's some group sex scenes, and everyone's, everybody belongs to everyone, and drug fueled stuff. So a lot of that. No Zardoff TV show. No, I don't think there is. So that's why it makes it on this list. It's this show is not afraid to show you what it might be like. All right. Okay, we're getting near the. I recommend the show. It's a pretty just from the things, the themes that it explores, and I wish they had put a couple extra seasons. I would have loved to see where they were going with it, and the degenerate society, how it would have reacted to to this rebellion, because there is a group in the show. There is a group that is of senior people who are kind of hidden, that run the show. Run the whole society from below, and we don't, they don't. The main characters don't know anything about that, but we find something up about it. So there is a, lots of place for conflict and stuff. All right, I think everyone will know about this next one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Scully.
that. Yeah, I mean, this was even, it's kind of funny. The X-Files, 93 to 2000. Gillian Anderson was a big 90s sex symbol. For those of you who don't know, even though she's she's in the show, like, she is not like these other shows. She's not wearing a bikini. She's not wearing sexy dresses. She's wearing the FBI
She's smart,
pantsuit.
sexy.
Yeah, but
she's smart, sexy, and that's a whole new.
It's a whole new thing. Smart, sexy, and she was all over magazines. Gillian Anderson, smart, sexy, exactly what Jeff says. Great, huge. I don't know. Would you say a sex symbol? Maybe not a sex symbol, but
yes, she was. Absolutely.
Yeah, you say
she
that?
Was.
She's
yes,
all over
she
stuff.
Absolutely. Gillian Anderson absolutely was during the X-Files. Yes, she was.
She still looks pretty good now too, even at 60.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's what got me by. Well, she's younger than I thought she might be. She's pretty. I've seen some pictures from her too, and she's pretty sweet. And God, the X-Files was on. I was still single, and it was still on when I first met my my fiance, who became my wife. So, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, still a good show, and my daughter is catching up, watching it. She likes the Monster of the Week and the whole seg. But great show. Cam, anything you want to
add? I don't know why they couldn't make a show done in the same way, because the show really didn't portray that so much as other things around, meaning promotional things that not having to do with the content of the show. like you said in the show, she's always wearing suits and things. But I don't know. I've never been a fan of hers myself, but I know other people are.
Yeah, I think she was the she's is she a redhead? There's the big question. Is she a redhead? Yes or no?
Well, she was in this show. She I think she
In the
has
show, she
blonde
is.
hair now, right?
She's naturally a brunette,
Oh,
probably.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, she did a good job, she brought the intellect as well as, the science, and there's a couple other shows that I'm thinking of too that come to mind if I can think of them too. But let's let
All right. Two more.
Snob continue on.
Two more. All right. And then you guys, if I missed any, people can shout them out. Okay. Now, this is Sense8. Have you ever, any of you guys seen this one?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay. So, written by the Wachowski brothers, sisters. And
the Wachowski something or other, whatever the hell they are.
And JMS is a part of this as well.
Oh, really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
Mhm.
So the premise of the story is, very roughly, these 8 characters are all it was on Netflix. It was these 8 characters are all psychically linked somehow. And they share their thoughts, and then they, they're from all around the world, and then they sort of get together and they start to, they can share thoughts. They get together and start to meet. That's the whole premise of the show. So of course the show gets a little bit, imagine if, you could sort of, you were linked, you knew what the other people were thinking and feeling, that sort of thing. The show gets pretty sensual in 2 seasons, I think it is. 2 seasons, a total of 12 episodes a season. They have 15 different sex scenes and 3 group scenes. That's pretty, for 24 episodes, that's pretty high. So it's a pretty sexy sort of show. Yeah. So interesting premise. And hey, if you like a little bit extra,
what's the interesting part about it?
Well, the fact that these 8 people are all psychically linked from different parts around the world. Is that not interesting? No.
Not on its own. I mean,
they just become that way. How are they done that? So they're all from different walks of life, different parts of the world. They're birthed by a woman called Angelica, who kills herself to avoid capture by a man called Whispers. The 8 discover that they form a cluster of sensates. Human beings who are mentally and emotionally linked, can sense and communicate with one another, and can share their knowledge, language, and skills.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did you say they're all birthed by the same woman?
Yeah.
So they're all
birthed. No, they're not. They were not born. Birthed in the sense that they are all psychically linked. All of a sudden, she links them somehow.
Oh, because that would have been a whole different thing.
Yeah, well, they're birthed in the sense, in quotes, birthed, i.e., become psychic.
That's a poor choice of words.
Sure. Yeah.
I think for that.
So they're trying to figure out, they're living their everyday lives, figuring out how and why they're connected.
Okay. Let me be a cynic for a second. Again, I haven't seen it, but what you described just seemed like a excuse for a softcore porn.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking. I guess is what you just said is it just seemed to be egregious. It's like, oh, there's this kind of thin veil of some reason to just be what you described. You presented it as if it was overwhelming the show. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Was
I don't
it?
know if
Was
it
it?
overwhelms the show.
Well, you okay? Didn't
I haven't seen
again?
it. No.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. You seem to indicate you laid out some numbers as if this was like an excessive amount. Is
Well,
that what
it's
you were trying to
well,
say?
I don't know. Is that excessive or not?
I don't know.
It seems like a lot for
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
well, it is a Netflix. It's a Netflix show. It's not a network TV show, but
Okay.
it does seem like the Wachowskis and Straczynski are the creators of this, and they're also they're writers and executive producers on it.
Okay, what was that? What else was it about?
That's probably primarily what. Okay. It's exploring the issues of identity, sexuality, gender, politics, all those type of things.
I mean, okay, so the blonde on the left,
empathy, yeah.
I mean, the blonde on the left and the brunette on the right. The other two chicks are kind of like meh. I don't get it. Why are they also? There's like two sexy girls in this lineup. That's it.
All right.
That's my
Jeff
statement.
doesn't think they're sexy.
No, the girl in front is she's very dowdy.
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's not all just the actresses don't have to just be hot to be sexy. It's the other aspects of the imagine that you're sharing emotions.
Don't get me wrong.
You're connected with these people.
Asian women are usually like right up my alley. They're like Grace Park. Okay, I mean, come on. But this one that's like right up front, I'm like, I don't know. It'd take a lot of work. That's very sexist of me. Sorry. But
okay, well, it's not. But how do you? You've seen the show, right?
No, I haven't.
How is it sexy?
Oh, okay. So why?
No, the show is exploring. Because it's exploring in detail issues related to identity, sexuality, gender, politics, that kind of stuff. I mean, imagine these people are emotionally linked to each other. Then they finally meet up. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? All 8 of them are sharing, some sort of, emotions.
It sounds like a premise for a one of these Love Island shows or whatever.
Yeah, well, worse than that, because they all can read each other's minds and feel everything they're all feeling. I mean, it's a group. Crazy. It's like a group hive mind, sort of, almost.
It's a polycule.
Yeah,
okay.
Sort of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
there's some, looking through the
creepy.
So what I said
through the pictures of looking through the pictures of the show, they've got the girls, 2 girls, 2 of these main characters, kissing, having some sort of affair. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Outpost Nerd. Did you see this show?
I've never heard of this show. I'm not sure I want to watch it.
You never heard of it? I've heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
I didn't see it though.
No. Yeah, but you're in a foreign country, so maybe it's a Canadian thing. I mean, Letterkenny made it to here. Jeanette loves Letterkenny.
Really? You guys Letterkenny?
Oh, Jeanette loves Letterkenny. I don't get it. I'm like,
next, you're going to tell me you watched the trailer.
They're apparently really into hockey and beer, so I'm into beer, but I don't know about the hockey.
Those
part.
Letterkenny are Ontario rednecks, basically.
That's cool. I like rednecks. I can deal with rednecks.
Yeah, Ontario doesn't have much rednecks. But...
So Outpost didn't see it. So yeah, probably not a good one to discuss because no one has seen it. So
yeah, no one's seen it. But
right,
that is, it's one of the sexiest. It's like I said, a lot of sex scenes.
Apparently, snob like
once again, you can find that kind of show real easy.
Seen it, but
yeah, but this is not in science fiction and not more of a network TV style. I mean, it was Netflix, it wasn't network TV, but it's that kind of style. I mean, kind of a HBO. All right, and lastly, the last one that I have on here, which I think is probably the most sexy of the group, Lex.
Lex, I'll give you. Lex. Yeah, I can see that.
This is a pretty out there show. You've got the main character Zev, who is a sex slave, but didn't get all the programming.
Is that the guy?
Sorry, what?
Is that the guy in the red suit?
No, that's Stanley Tweedle.
Oh,
He is the guy who has the control of the ship, the Lex, which is the most powerful ship in the universe and can destroy planets.
Oh, good
And he
for it.
basically steals it. He's a bit of a loser. Zev is she was supposed to be, she was sentenced to be a sex slave, but she was transformed. When she was being transformed, she also got caught into some, these worm creatures were attacking the place, and she got mixed with them. So she's got some gnarly powers. And then she escaped before she got the brainwashing. And instead, she put the robot head that you see there in there. So the robot head is basically a love slave for Zev. The head is worshiping her and saying she's great and all that stuff. The guy there, what's his name again? I just saw this show too. I was just watching it. Kai is a dead assassin from a planet that was destroyed by the bad guys.
you say he's dead?
Yeah, he's dead. So he gets chopped in half and stuff, and they just put him back together, and they give him a blood, proto blood, I think it's called, and he just lives on that. They just wake him up whenever they need him because they don't have much proto blood. But he's basically an assassin for his shadow. His shadow's the bad guy. Yeah, maybe Snob is perverted. No, I'm just talking about the sexy shows. Jeez, man. She's part lizard. No, not lizard. It's these worms. These worm things.
Worms, huh?
Yes,
Worms don't sound very sexy to me.
There's
What about
these
you,
giant
Cam?
worm things that were coming up and killing everybody in the first episode, and she was being, changed into this sexy girl, and she got a piece of the worm got in there. So she does a couple things sometimes and kills people. You're like, what the hell is going on? Lex is trippy and weird. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Pretty perverted. Stanley Tweedle is like a loser. He controls the ship and can go where he wants. But he's more than happy to. There's a planet of women that are very loose. Let's go there. Well, what about saving the universe? Nah.
Are they Orion girls?
Let's just use the
Are they
ship
green?
to go where I want to go and feed my own desires. The woman who plays Zev got replaced for I can't remember. I don't know why. I think she just quit. Whatever. So the other woman takes the place in the next season.
Was this a Joss Whedon production too?
No, Lex is not Josh Whedon. I don't think it's anybody you've heard of. Brian Downey is, of course, Stanley Tweedle. Eva Haberman is the blonde there. I forget the girls' names. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty, it's a bit of a dark comedy. It's a little bit bizarre. There's some, at least Zev is at least topless in some sort of shower scene in the first or second episode. So, and she's a very attractive woman. And so, it's basically, what if a loser got in, a hold of the greatest, ship in the universe and could do whatever he wants with it, and he sort of just goes around. But he's so weak that he can be controlled by other people and saying, no, let's go here, let's go there, whatever. He's a bit of a weak. Of course, Zev she's a sex slave, and but she still doesn't want to get with Stanley, even though he wants her to. The show is. I don't think this show could ever be made again. There's no way. It's just way over the.
It probably could be. It would just have to change the
dynamic
nature. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure it would be lauded as a breakthrough.
Well, if everybody was gay or something, maybe.
I didn't say that.
No,
not enough. Sorry, no, that doesn't. No, that wouldn't satisfy.
All right.
Ava Haberman is the only reason you watched. Is that what you're saying, James? Yeah, she's Pretty attractive.
I
She's, I
I
think, what she's German. I think she's German. She's been in
I
lots of
mean,
other
they're
stuff. I
cute.
looked her up.
She's cute. These.
She's been in lots of stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
especially
I'll bet.
German, European German productions. All right, okay, so that's Lex. That is what I anyway. So what did I miss, gentlemen?
All right,
What's
so
more
I've
sexy
got a
than?
couple. I've got a
All right.
couple. Let's go back to the 70s. All right. First of all, um, we got to include the original Battlestar Galactica because there was some sexiness there with the
Mm.
socialators and all that. But on the heels of that, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Come on.
Colonel Deering.
Oh my God, and then don't forget the other two. Adala and let me see what were the two? There was two of them that were
Aura?
huh?
Aura? Was that one of them, or is that Flash Gordon I'm thinking of?
The no, yeah, not. Let's see. Erin Gray, of course, and she played Wilma Deering, and then Princess Adala, and then there was Jamie Lee Curtis played a character. I mean, come on, in the 70s, in the height of the sexual revolution and all that stuff, and they use those special lens filters and all that stuff to give it that kind of starry-eyed look, and oh man, just that
Well, I
softness and
mean,
stuff like that.
that's the kind of key difference between television now and television back in this 70s, 80s, 90s. They're like, okay, we're gonna make this TV show. Let's find women who are very good looking to be on our TV show because
Mhm.
yeah, because men are gonna watch it and men are like to look at beautiful women.
I mean,
So
I'm specifically talking about the first season of Buck Rogers, especially because the second season of Buck Rogers, nobody knew what the hell was going on. They were on a ship suddenly, and you still had Wilma Deering, but 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 Adala and just that whole stuff going on, that was pretty awesome.
okay, but what I'm suggesting is that, like, I mean, I think that's pretty standard for 70s to have you make 60s, 70s, you're making a TV show, you want to put a sexy woman in there for sure. Like, if you're
Well,
going to have women
maybe,
on the
but
show, they should be as attractive as possible. But is there
but I
anything else that makes it right? But most shows are like that, right? Most shows.
she was trying to use her. Or you
Oh,
wanted
okay, that's what you got
sci-fi
to get to.
shows? Yeah, I mean, Adala was trying to get Buck to do whatever, and she had Tiger Man or whatever his name was, and and she's like, yeah, forget about him. I want Buck. Dee. And then you even you even had Twiggy. Twiggy even had his own female counterpart. Um, so Buck Rogers, you gotta include Buck Rogers in this list. SG1, and for that matter, you've got to include. There were so many sexy women that were in the Stargate series plural. I mean, um, not just Vala, who of course you mentioned earlier as being in one of the other shows, but her character, she was a roguelike character who tried to use her womanly wiles to get her way and get away with stuff. And she, of course, always had some sort of poison or this or that or the other where she could escape. But and it helped her survive in a world or in a universe where you've got the aliens out there to get you. But that's one of them. I don't know if you consider this sci-fi. I do, because some of the technology used in this is a little beyond. Bones. I thought there was something to be said about that. There was two very sexy women that were in Bones, and they were using technology that's just a little bit above what we've got today, in my opinion. One of which was actually the daughter of one of the members of ZZ Top, and her dad actually played that role. um, and then of course, the main actress that was in Bones. Let's see. And then of course I already mentioned Stargate SG-1. So I'm curious to see what some other people say, but to me those are all kind of sci-fi-ish shows. So
Sci-fi and sex don't go together somehow. Well, I don't know.
no, they do. I
I mean,
disagree, James.
the classic way to do it is, of course, the 60s, 70s way. Oh, it's sci-fi. Put them in a bodysuit and paint it silver. That kind of, that's what everyone will wear in the future.
I mean, this is not the Buggles video. Video killed the radio star. I was just gonna paint everybody silver, and they go, oh. But
so I think, I mean, people, they do try to make it go together. But yeah, I mean, I think, what I'm trying, I don't know how successful this list is, but it's kind of, it's not just, hey, it's the 70s. Let's put, there's a girl, let's put her in a silver bodysuit. Some of these shows are a little bit more than that, right? They go beyond by, having not just attractive actors in skin tight clothing, but they go beyond that a little bit. I think so, but yeah.
Okay, so here's another one. Let's see. Wonder Woman. Does that count? Is Wonder Woman considered sci-fi, or is that just too much superhero?
You can consider superheroes to be science fiction, especially.
I know there's that Venn diagram thing that Cam likes to bring out. So
yeah, they can be considered to be science fiction, especially if it's like a technologically based hero. I mean, Wonder Woman is not that, but normally you would kind of put superheroes into action / adventure. And with Wonder Woman, it would be sort of action adventure mythology more so than because she's more magic than sci-fi.
Can I suggest something? Yeah. Is that I think based on the topic you have here, that in the past you would have something, you would be more likely to have attractive people, specifically attractive women. Yes. And have them highlighted. Let's say Charlie's Angels, right? There's attractive women all over that, but it wasn't necessarily. Well, let me finish the other side. Today, you're more likely to have something that's just outright degeneracy without necessarily attractive people. It's like, the premise, they couldn't do that today but it's actually, I don't know. They're doing things that are far more egregious, it seems to me today, than in the past, right?
Deliberately trying to go that way.
Well, yeah. And it's like, these are the same people that would push that, what is today. I'm trying not to make, in my statements, I'm trying not to editorialize too much, sure. But what the same people that would be cheering it today would be going back and looking at Wonder Woman, being like, "Oh my God, they're going to be clutching their pearls about that, though," right?
Well, I think
Linda Carter. Look, for me, Linda Carter, even as she got older, she was still sexy as hell.
Yeah,
she's got those piercing blue eyes with that dark hair. Okay, look, I'm a sucker for three things. Okay, and my wife has already heard this, so she already knows. Okay, obviously the Asian thing, Grace Park is like, boom, right up there. Okay, love Asian women. I think they're awesome. I think they were
okay. All right,
by the gods, right?
I want to talk about.
Wait, hold on.
Jeff likes.
Let me finish, right? Then you have dark hair and blue eyes. The only other alternative would be dark hair and green eyes, like the piercing blue or the piercing green eyes. Those two that is like the ultimate epitome. So if you have an Asian with dark hair and piercing green or blue eyes, that's like, you know,
So all you need is contact lenses.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Look,
but
I
I'm
don't
talking
think
about real.
I
Okay.
don't think the important thing is what Jeff likes in a woman. I think the
Well-
more interesting concept and discussion point is that we used to have television shows, and people would make those shows, and they would look at it and go, okay, people are going to watch this show. If people are going to want to watch our show, why not put the most aesthetically pleasing people into the show?
Sure.
I.e., the best looking ones.
The most comely,
Unless you have a
the
reason
most
to not
comely
put them,
of all of them, yeah.
unless
Well,
you have a reason to not put them in. For example, the villain. Often villains are, too
Ugly or
too
whatever.
ugly to reflect the fact that they're evil, right? It's a
Okay.
bit of a right.
That's kind of what I
So-
was talking about, though.
But yeah, it's kind of what you were talking about, Cam. Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm
my
trying
point
to,
is that
I'm going to directly go to it and just say,
Okay.
but we don't seem to do that now, right? Like
Right.
it's sort of, no, let's put ugly people in the show just because for no
specifically,
reason
it's like
or
these,
purposefully, yeah.
right? Yeah.
So
And
what is wrong with us? Why are we, why are we so? What has changed that we are not like, okay, well, no, if I'm going to watch this show, I want to look at, I want to look at. Would you rather look at something that's beautiful or ugly? You'd rather look at something. If you're going to watch something,
Well-
you'd rather see something that's beautiful, right?
Well, yeah, but the whole idea is that the idea of being able to say something is beautiful and something's ugly is just not allowed anymore, right? It's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You're
You're
XYZ.
sexist. You're
Yeah,
sexist. You're a misogynist. You're this and that. But well, you know what? Here's the
Well,
thing. Okay.
I'm not speaking at it just in the fact of human beings and beautiful humans versus ugly humans or whatever, or women. I'm also saying, would you rather put up a picture in your house of a beautiful sunset or a big pile of stinking garbage? I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Well,
if I'm going to put a picture up in my house, which am I going to pick, right?
Well, you would, but
I would, yes.
That is not a
Oh.
modern sensibility, though. That's
Yeah, I mean that, and it has nothing to do with necessarily. James says no sex objects. I mean that's a factor of it for sure, but it doesn't have to be, right? You can appreciate a beautiful woman just because she's beautiful, not as necessarily just a sex object. And the same with a man, right? Or a
Right.
sunset, or a field, or whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be.
right.
But we always say that. Oh, there's a good looking woman. Oh, you're treating her, you want to look at her because she's aesthetically pleasing. Oh, therefore you're a pervert, or you're thinking a certain thing. Or
right. Well, we have this bizarre kind of twisted. It's like Puritanism mixed with cultural hatred of beauty. It's like,
yeah.
You can have degeneracy. That's all fine, but you can't appreciate beauty. You see what I'm saying? It's like they need to separate those things. It's like, oh, if you like something beautiful, well, then they're Puritan about it. But if it's something degenerate, then how dare you question it? Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think you pretty much summed up. You summed up the problem very.
All right.
Very
Here's
but the question is why? Why?
Here's one more.
Why are we like that?
Here's one more that you left that you did not include. Again, from the 70s, maybe early 80s. The Bionic Woman. Lindsay Wagner. Come on, dude.
Okay, yeah, but I think, see, Jeff, we're going beyond that point. Where like you said, if you pick any show from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, chances are that the women in it, for sure, will be attractive because they understand that people are going to watch this show and people would rather look at something that is attractive, aesthetically pleasing, than something that is ugly. And that's what used to happen. That used to happen in Hollywood all the time. Only the people who are actors were only the people who are the most attractive, with the exception of certain people who were ugly who would be playing, always villains or
The villain
or,
roles, yeah.
that kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
Because they were good, right? But now
Well,
that's how
well,
generally it was.
Well, and you're right.
Especially for women, not as much for men, but even with men, you'd have somebody like John Wayne, and these guys would be, classically handsome, men as well, right?
Speaking of which, did I hear somebody just died recently?
I'm sure a lot of people died, like in the last, probably thousands.
A senator died yesterday.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about? Is that, or are you changing the subject?
Well,
I'm just curious that, like, I think over, like, this is my whole, this isn't the key of this show per se, was not to, but I think that's the sort of the big picture, that when I look at all these shows and how they're much older usually, and how they're looked at, and what we look now, that becomes a big question as to how we've changed that, how we've moved as a culture from there.
I meant like a famous actor that recently just passed away unexpectedly, not two senators. But yes, I did mean to say two.
Dave, yes, the Romulan captain in the original series was quite a fine lady.
But so you're just trying to wash away the Bionic Woman, where she was a tennis pro, right? That was the premise of her character. She was a tennis pro. She was very fit.
I'm trying to go beyond this, right? Beyond the show, right? I'm taking it to the next level.
Okay. Well,
it's not that your example, it couldn't.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Jeff. I'm just saying
it's just that
I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're wrong, Jeff. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm trying to connect it and discuss the bigger issues. That's all. Now that we've focused on the lower level, that we've, the audience is primed. They've seen all these TV shows that we've mentioned and how they used to be made, and how it, was very, it's fairly common back in those days to have sexy people on TV.
Let me try and answer.
What's going on now?
Let me try and answer. And
just before you do, Cam, you don't have to answer. I'm not saying there's not necessarily an answer, but I think this is an interesting question.
I'm just curious why the Bionic Woman wouldn't fit onto this.
It does. It does.
It's fine. Can we just accept the Bionic Woman's on the list? All right, there you go. It's not about the list. The list isn't important.
What I think we're agreeing with, Jeff, is that yes, it certainly could be another example in the list that we have here. The question, Snob, that I think you're asking, and I think the answer is that we live in an era. Would you guys agree that that people do have a sense of liking attractive things, like you said, whether it's a sunset or whatever, right? Even a pleasing geometric shape. People like things that are visually pleasing.
We are programmed by nature.
Yes, we are biologically programmed to like things that are attractive.
Yes,
aesthetically pleasing,
and we can't change that nature.
Yeah, and what is aesthetically pleasing to us is kind of the same across cultures within a certain parameters, a certain band.
And the point I'm trying to make is to say that there is some segment within our society that wants to punish people for having that nature. Sense, right? Yes. They want to twist and destroy that and tell you that it's wrong to have that natural sense of appreciation of some sort of beauty. And I would suggest, without getting deep into the subject, there's a motivation behind that is not good. If anybody that wants to berate you for what is common to humanity and our ability to appreciate not even biology. I mean, it's even any part of it. Like you said, enjoying a rose, and someone that wants to tell you that's bad in some way and that they have to change it or undermine that in some way, that's a a cultural nihilist or even an anti-human nihilist of some sort.
Yeah.
And I reject that sort of
I
thing.
get it.
But we see that all too commonly in our world today. So and again, it's not, but again, you could say it's like some kind of weird stoic weird puritanism thing where it's like, no, you have to suppress what, but it's not even that. It's like every degenerate thing has to be promoted and held up as some sort of glorious thing while they're trying to destroy simple concepts such as appreciating beauty. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird hypocrisy.
Yeah, and maybe it's jealousy of those that are
a lot of that.
left affable, or less comely, and it's saying, oh well, yeah, look, I kind of firmly believe that there is somebody for everybody at some point, and it's just a matter of finding it, but I'm I don't know. It's just I think trying to rewrite our DNA,
Yeah,
to go against nature. I mean, for one thing,
Socially engineer.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's never going to happen. I mean, nature is going to seek out that. You see this in the animal kingdom, and we are, if you want to take us as being nothing more than animals, well, we are a product of our nature. Yes, there are certain appearances that are more attractive to others that are instinctive. And
Mhm.
yes, there are some things that are more attractive based on sociological type of things. I mean, you look at like what at some point in the medieval era, where rotund people, particularly rotund males, were considered wealthy and typically because they weren't starving, right? so
Mhm.
so they were ideal, but they weren't necessarily going to be the ugly ones either, so it's just kind of the
Well,
species has to propagate to
sure.
survive.
Yeah,
So
I think if I was to put it as simply as possible, is there are people that are trying to manipulate society, and that's why these things that would have no one would have batted an eye about, in the past, that because it's in line with human nature in a lot of ways, has to be destroyed because they hate it. I mean,
they hate human nature.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of
Yeah.
things. So, and again, and again, I think the point that I would like to make overall is just to reiterate is that it's not about being uh, cleaner or more chaste or anything like that, because that's not that's not what's going on, right? It's the
Right.
opposite of that is going on. So it's not, like I said, it's the hypocrisy of this where it's like, oh my gosh, a woman wearing a bikini, how scandalous, while they will turn around and then promote something that is absolutely
Abhorrent.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
All
I
right.
got you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm curious.
I think Cam
Wrapped it up. Yeah.
Cam summarized it pretty good for me. I'm not going to add anything. And that's the kind of the question that I wanted to kind of point out at the end of this. At the end of the show. All right. Okay. Did we miss anything? What's coming up? What's coming up on Bad News Bards? Jeff, real quick.
So we're still working on a potential guest for next week, because EggCon is going on, and I unfortunately will not be able to go to EggCon this year, but maybe in the future. However, we did have Professor Dungeon Master on earlier this evening, as Cam said, and the following weekend on the 26th, we have Alan Hammock, who, if anybody knows tabletop lore, is very famous. So we're looking forward to having him on the 26th of July on the Bad News Bards.
Well, Jeff, tell everyone what he's famous for.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and throw me into. So I actually ran across him along with. In fact, I have a picture of him and Merle, who worked on a number of things, but Top Secret was one of them. So let me see if I can pull up Alan's bio here real quick. He was a game designer. He joined TSR, which of course created Dungeons and Dragons in 1978. So his first adventure was the Ghost Tower of Inverness, and he was really into Top Secret, and him, along with Merle Rasmussen, developed Top Secret. So if any of you have heard of Top Secret, we're hoping to be able to get some info about that. Let's see. He designed a number of adventures, so but he is a game designer, basically, to say the least, and he is one of the remaining old school. We're starting to lose a lot of these folks, and
back from the TSR days.
Yes, back from the TSR days. So we're very blessed that he agreed to come on. It's going to be another short show like tonight was, because we're trying to be respectful of their time. So it's probably only going to be about an hour or so long, but very, very appreciative of that. Other stuff coming up. Let's see. Grognard's Assembled is on hiatus right now because EggCon is next Friday, and then it's gonna kick off again the following week, and there's some news to come on that, so we'll talk about that in the future.
All right. Well, I didn't know they have a con just for eggs. That's interesting.
Well, it's
Cam,
EGG is
go ahead.
E Gary Gygax, by the way.
Oh, I thought it was about eggs. Cam.
Well, we have Babylon 5 coming up. We're going on to episode 7, which is post Shadow War of season 4. And that's Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
All right. And all right. And next week on the show, we were going to do movie night. Now, I was going to do a Andromeda Strain, but Cam wants to do Project Hail Mary. And I'm like, that's like a movie that's come out like just this year. Cam, we got to do old stuff. But, we can do a Andromeda Strain next time. So you really want to do Project Hail Mary, Cam?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we don't have a mandate that we do old things, right? We want to do good things.
We usually do classic stuff. But we can break the rules for sure.
Great.
The rules I made up in my head just now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So Cam hasn't seen Project Hail Mary. I saw it in the theater, man. What's going on?
Well, it's been. I just didn't get around to it, but it was released on Amazon, I believe, on Amazon Prime. So you can see it there and maybe other places. I'm not sure.
Okay. So we'll talk about that next week. All right. Awesome. Okay, and I think that's it. Do we have anything else? Oh, Zardov or nothing? Cam doesn't.
Zardov. Oh, you said sexy, right? So Zardov. There's a sexy movie.
Pretty
Zardov.
Sexy.
Zardov.
Sean Connery in a diaper. I mean, who's
Yeah, I mean that's the sexiest
everyone loves
thing
that.
ever.
Okay, I guess that's it, right? Did I forget anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's it for the show, I guess. We do the favor overlook sci-fi, though. All right. We do favor. Yeah. Jeff, you don't want to say anything? You don't want to demand jokes?
Jokes. Oh, wait, I can actually say jokes and be heard.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. I got a few jokes. And because Jeff is here, I will spare Cam. And these jokes I will give them to Jeff. He will be tortured with jokes. Oh, and you know what? We're gonna do it a different way. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna give the. I'm gonna do like Johnny Carson does. I'm gonna give the answer, and then I will give the.
Are you gonna do the
Kreskin thing? Yeah. I'm doing that. You can't see me.
Wait.
Okay. Wait. Why they're not waiting for anything? Come on, we got to end the show. Hurry up. This is your thing. All right. He only comes once a year. He only comes once a year.
Who is Santa
Why-
Claus?
Why does Santa have such a big sack?
I did not know this was like Jeopardy.
Okay. The answer is elixir. The answer is elixir.
So,
How does the alchemist please his wife?
I don't
you
know
go,
how
you
does
go
he?
on ahead, and I will give these two a lift. You go on ahead, and I will give these two a lift.
That doesn't make sense.
What did the bra say to the hat?
What did the bra say to the hat?
Our meetings don't take very long. Our meetings don't take very long.
You need a new joke book.
Welcome to the Premature Ejaculation Club.
You need
Okay,
a new joke book.
that's it for the jokes for today.
New joke book for
backwards
Mr.
jokes.
Snob.
And of course, the theme, of course, was it was sexy, so it was all sexy. Was the theme for the jokes today, of course. All right, thanks everybody. Hope you appreciate the show. Come and watch us next week. Project Hail Mary and Wednesday on Babylon 5. Good night, everyone.